Hey everybody, it's Andy Doty here. So it's the Monday after the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict, and we've had a few days for the liberals to digest what happened and show their outrage, their phony baloney fake outrage that they have for everything. And I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful, and I think it's a lesson for everybody about liberals and who liberals are. So, let's take a minute here to talk about Kyle Rittenhouse. So from the get-go, they were calling him a white supremacist. So what led them to say that? Was there some documentation? Was there some evidence? Was he at like some kind of Hitler Youth rally or some KKK rally or something like that? Nope. On his social media, he has many pro-police posts. And, the thin blue line posts and things like that, which according to the left makes you a white supremacist. Now, they've said this for a long time. They've alluded to it. They just haven't come right out and said it directly up to this point. But now they're just saying it. If you support the police, you're a white supremacist. And, of course, the fact that he went to Kenosha during this Black Lives Matter protest, and because he went there during a Black Lives Matter protest, that ties in with his white supremacy. If there was one piece of information out there, one iota, one piece of proof that showed that he was a true white supremacist, you'd see nothing but that. There's no evidence, there's no proof. What, because he's pro-police? If you liberals out there, if the media out there, people in Hollywood, if you had any evidence to prove white supremacy, you'd be running with it. You wouldn't be showing anything else but that. But again, liberals know who their audience is. They know that they live in this gigantic echo chamber where they just reinforce each other's bullshit. So when somebody says white supremacy, they don't need proof. They just like being outraged by it. Oh, he's a white supremacist. Well, wait a minute. Why do you say that? Because the TV's told me he's a white supremacist. Well, who told them? Fucking Alyssa Milano and Joy Reid. They said it, so it must be true. He's not a white supremacist. It's all about how you communicate things. Liberals are very good. Give credit where credit is due. Liberals are amazing at communicating things in a way that get their base riled up and distort reality. They're so good at it. I mean, if the Republicans could do what they do, the Republicans would be unstoppable. So, distorting reality, the illusion. Well, he drove across state lines. He should have been there to begin with. So they use the term drive across state lines, which is true. He did drive across the state line to go defend the city of Kenosha. But when you say drive across state lines, it's the optics, it's the illusion. What is the illusion that you're trying to create? It's like me driving from Cleveland to Kenosha. Yeah, I got in my car and I drove 8 hours away. Actually, it's more than 8 hours. I don't even know how far away. It's more than 8 hours. But let's say 8 hours. Me driving from Cleveland to Kenosha, it's 8 hours, an 8-hour drive. I got my fucking AR-15 and I drove 8 hours on the freeway to Kenosha to go shoot somebody. When you say it like that, it sounds pretty fucking crazy. He lived 20 miles over the border in Illinois. So yeah, he did drive across the border. Nobody's going to dispute that. But when you say drive across the border, add in he drove 20 miles away from his home to Kenosha, where he has family living. This whole idea that he just was hell-bent on destruction and white supremacy and racism, that he had to drive to this Black Lives Matter protest just to kill somebody. He drove across state lines to kill somebody. No, he drove 20 miles from his home to defend a city where he has family living. Again, if you state every variable of the scenario, your argument goes out the window. You look like an asswipe. So you pick apart the little parts of the story that you want to communicate your point, which is the new favorite liberal tactic. Taking things down to the smallest possible level to justify your point. Well, he drove across state lines. Yeah, he drove across state lines. You're going to give us any more information than that? Nope. He drove across state lines. That's all you need to know. That's all I'm going to tell you. That's all that's relevant to my point. Just like this bullshit about Black Lives Matter protest. Well, excuse me, before I give you my impression of another outraged liberal, that's their new philosophy now. What they're stating out there, what they're outraged about. Well, I guess we just can't protest. I guess we can't protest without the fear of getting shot. No, you can protest. Nobody has a problem with people protesting. They have a problem with people burning down cities and rioting and looting and assaulting other people. The fact that so many liberals, the fact that the media, the fact that Hollywood, the fact that there's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people out there who cannot distinguish between a protest and a violent mob is actually so infuriating. I don't even know how to discuss it. If you don't know the difference between what happened in Kenosha and what happened in Seattle, what happens in Portland, what happens in all these other cities that have burned to the fucking ground in a regular peaceful protest, then you are so far gone. I mean, you shouldn't even be allowed to have an opinion on this. What, because the TV said it was a peaceful protest? Look at the before and after pictures. Go to fucking Google and just do fucking 2 minutes worth of fucking research and look at the before and after pictures of this peaceful fucking protest. Give me a fucking break. And what's even more beautiful about this, what's even more beautiful about all of this is that there are still so many people who are corrupted by the lies that the media tells everybody, that they are actually still going out there and mourning these victims like they're like these innocent saints. They do it every fucking time. It doesn't matter who the person was. All that matters is what happened to them. George Floyd, man, he was killed by the police. I mean, he's Saint. He's Saint George. Saint George Floyd. Here's these two people. They're saints. These two saints. These two pure, innocent, pure as the driven snow, decent human beings. Yeah. I mean, you know what? I mean, there's a fella, the guy, the one guy raped 5 kids, but you know what? Kyle Rittenhouse didn't know that, so it's irrelevant. Check and mate. No, it's actually very relevant. Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse may not have known that when the one guy was slamming him in the head with a skateboard. He may not have known all of this information. But it's relevant now. It's relevant now because you're making them out to be saints. You're making them out to be victims. If you want to say that it's not relevant and Rittenhouse didn't know that and that shouldn't have came up in his trial, or you can't say that it's justified for shooting these people. And yeah, you can make that point, but you can't make that point and then make them out to be these victims, these saints. Give me a fucking break. The one guy raped 5 kids, and you have Hollywood people mourning his death. That's why liberals will always lose. You'll always lose. Because you do not understand reality. You pick apart whatever you want. You communicate the small individual parts that justify your lunacy. And you ignore everything else. When somebody else brings it up, you call them racist. You call them a bigot. You call them a sexist. You call them a xenophobe. All words that are so overused they have absolutely zero meaning. What's the definition of a racist? Doesn't matter. You can call anybody a racist. You can call fucking camping racist. You can call the sidewalk racist. Everything's racist if you want it to be. It has no meaning. They have no meaning. They have the same old tactics. Liberals use the same old tactics. They're worthless, stupid, perpetual infants. They can't handle confrontation. They can't handle opposition. They want everybody who goes against them to be destroyed. This whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing just exposed it to everybody if they didn't already know it. And the worst part is that there's basically two types of people on this earth, at least in this country. There's a small third segment of people who just don't care. They just want to be left alone. They don't even want to talk about it. So I can't really comment about them because they don't want to talk about it. But there's two types of people in this country. There's people who know all of this, and there's people out there who actually refuse to accept the reality of this country, of who we have living in this country. People who don't care about right and wrong. All they care about is that they are in charge. It gets to be their decision. They get to decide who the good people are. They get to decide that they're better than you. It's not about what's right or wrong, as long as they have assigned themselves value above you. They're pathetic. You can't win. They cannot win. The only way they can win is if you let them win. If you just give in. You give in to their bullshit. When somebody calls you a racist, ask yourself, are you a racist? Ask yourself internally, are you a racist? If the answer is no, then tell them to fuck themselves. Again, nobody cares. If somebody called you a racist, or a bigot, or a xenophobe, or something like that, and you know who you are, and the people who know you, your true friends, your true circle, they know who you are. If you're not that person, who the fuck cares? So some fucking whiny little snowflake liberal calls you a racist? Some piece of shit on MSNBC thinks somebody's a racist? Fuck them. Fuck them in the ass. They have no value. They're grasping at straws. They have nothing. Fuck them. Fuck them in the ass. And all you people who think these poor innocent souls in fucking Kenosha, that they're some kind of victims, fuck them in the ass too, like that one guy did to five children that you seem to casually forget. You motherfuckers, fuck all of you. Fuck yourself and have a great day.